Saving your work in CengageNOW. Watch this screencast to find out the difference between save and submit. You may also be interested in the Check My Work feature. Hello. Today I would like to explain the process of taking assignments, basically how to save and how to submit your work, and what does that Check My Work button mean. When you open up your CengageNOW, you're going to see something similar to this under the Assignments and Tests tab. As you can see here, I have 3 assignments that are open to me right now, 2 of which are considered as homework, 1 is a test. Actually, these 2 are both quizzes, but since I'm pulling your problem quiz from the work at the back of the chapter, that's why it's considered here under the tab of homework. That's just the type of problem that it is. If there is in the action column, if there is a take button, then it is ready for you to take. Now let's look here under the number of tries, and this is going to give you a lot of information. For example, the first thing says that this particular assignment has not been taken. There are 2 remaining attempts to take it. What that means is you can take this Chapter 2 exercises the first time, get a grade on it. Maybe you're not satisfied with that grade and said, oh man, I wish I had answered those questions just a little differently. Then you can go in and actually do a second attempt. Finish all of those problems again, and it will take the highest grade of the 2. So you actually have 2 attempts to take your chapter exercises each week. You also have unlimited time to take this. Now, most of the time, some of you may have already figured out that CengageNOW will time out after a certain length of time. Probably, I think it's around 20 to 30 minutes. So it's important for you to save your work as you go. Now, saving your work and submitting your work are 2 different things. In other words, you can save your work, but you don't have to actually submit it at that point. You can always come back to a work in progress. Okay. The second one, the problem quiz. Again, you can see that this is not taken, but only have 1 time to take this one. There's only 1 attempt on both of the quizzes that you have to take it. Once you have submitted it for grading, you cannot go back and do it again. The objective quiz is limited to 30 minutes, so you only have a 30-minute time period that you can take it. Now, I'm going to start here with the exercises first. I'm going to click on the action button, which says take. And it'll give me some information here, and it says, please note, this is your first take. You are limited to 2 takes. Those are 2 different attempts. So if this is your second, it'll say, this is your second take, and it is your last one. This assignment is due, and it gives it the due date and the due time, and it says when it will actually become unavailable. And remember, this is always going to be a Saturday date at 11 p.m. at night, and everything will always become unavailable on the following Tuesday at 11 p.m. at night. But between January the 31st and February the 3rd, this 3-day period, each week, it will be assessed a late penalty of 30%. So whatever your score is that you make, it'll take 30% of that score off, and that's where you'll start. If your computer loses its connection, you can resume taking the assignment as long as you sign back into CengageNOW within a few minutes, choosing as you sign in to resume the assignment. So that is very important. If you do lose a connection, just simply log back in and click that you want to resume, and you should be at the same point where you just recently left off. Now notice it does say within a few minutes, so please don't wait until the next day and then expect for it to resume, because it probably won't. Okay, I'm going to start the assignment now. All right, this is a few things that I wanted to show you about CengageNOW. Up here in the far right-hand corner, do you see where it has the word hints with a little H here? There'll always be hints that are available, so you can click on the hints button and it'll give you hints that are concerning this particular exercise that you're doing. So you can scroll through these hints and you'll see that there are 4 of them, and they are enabled before your first answer is ever put in, so you can always check with your hints. The Check My Work button is also a wonderful thing. You see here that you have 5 times that you can check your work to see if it's correct. Now let's say, for example, as I go through, I'll say label each of the following accounts as either an asset, a liability, or owner's equity. The money in the bank is going to be a cash account, so I would say that I want this to be considered as an asset. Office supplies, which would be considered as supplies, which by the way is an asset, but I'm going to answer this one incorrectly. Did everybody hear me there? Incorrectly, so I can show you how you can go about checking your answers. So I'll go here and I'm going to choose this to be a liability in error. Now, I haven't finished everything as you can see, but I have some of it done. Well, I have 5 different times on this particular problem that I can check my work. So I'm going to click check my work. That's one of my 5 times, and you can see that it's going to say that one's correct, this one's not correct, and oops, those are all wrong. Notice over here my check my work has now turned to be 4, so I only have 4 more times that I can do this. So you have actually 5 times that you can check your work on this one problem before. And by the way, all of this is still in that same one attempt. So it's not like every time you click check my work that it uses up an attempt. So I wanted to explain the difference for that. Now, I've had some of you say, well, I don't want this to time out and lose my place. If you have to leave and you're in the middle of something, you don't have to sit down and finish this from beginning to end. You can always go down here to the bottom and click Save. You see the Save button here? When you click Save, then that means that this particular assignment is now in process. It is incomplete, and you can come back to it at that point. Once again, this is still considered your first attempt. It is not using this as your second attempt. When I am ready to actually submit it for grading, then I will click on the yellow Submit Assignment for Grading. Of course, you always want to save as you go, save as you go, and then click Submit Assignment for Grading. Let's say I have a doctor's appointment to go to this afternoon. I've only got the first couple of things done. I have to close it down. Make sure that you save, then click Exit. Then you can come back to this problem and work it again, or continue working through your Chapter 2 exercises. I hope you understand the difference there, and that's all I wanted to show you. It works basically the same way except for a couple of things. Now, the check my work is the exact same thing on your problem quiz. You will also have 5 check my work tries on your problem quiz. You only have 1 take on your problem quiz, not 2 takes. Your hints will also be enabled on your problem quiz. Now, when you take your objective quiz, it will be true, false, multiple choice type questions, and there will be no check my work button there, and you only have 1 time to do it. So those are going to be probably the most difficult, even though they're the shortest. There's only 10 questions on an objective quiz, but when you take it, there's really none of this extra stuff going on here at the very top. I hope that helps you just a little bit more to understand how to go through and work with your hints, work with check my work with the difference between your save button and your submit assignment for grading. Thanks.